Well, you're absolutely right. Trade agreements in their sort of most ambitious form take years to negotiate, and then they have to be ratified in the case of the European Union in in the national parliaments, by the European Parliament, and so on. And as trade develops so quickly today with digital trade, with AI and so on, they become obsolete, well, at the time they enter into force. I don't think we can expect any kind of very ambitious deal between the EU and the US. At best, some sort of points of agreement to make sure that we control these high tariffs, and then maybe some agreement to keep on talking on things of mutual interest. But for the time being, it is very hard to predict because, as you just said in the program, there are new deadlines coming up all the time. There are new threats of tariffs. Lately, there was 17% of agricultural products and so on. So this makes it very difficult to continue to discuss.
And I guess the point, Cecilia, is that actually the US administration isn't after a full FTA. And I think sometimes we get too worked up in what historically a trade deal means, like you and I were just discussing there. It is normally an FTA. Mm-hmm. What he wants is some form of framework agreement where the president can go back and say, I got the EU to move. That's much more achievable, isn't it?
It is, and we tried many years ago when I was Trade Commissioner to negotiate a fully fledged trade agreement. It was called TTIP. That failed. One day, maybe the time will be ripe to take that up again, but that is not the case now. I think we will be looking at tariffs. The EU has offered to take away all the tariffs on goods. That was obviously not accepted from the US side. But now I think we will try to look at what kind of exceptions can the EU get when it comes to the highest tariffs. And can EU commit to buy some more soybeans, some more LNG gas? There's already a commitment within the NATO structure to buy more weapons. So maybe this would be a sort of mini agreement in that direction.
Cecilia, while we're canvassing all options and given the range of views from the member countries in Europe, is there still a chance of no deal at all?
Absolutely. If there is just higher tariffs and nothing back, I think there is a risk that this escalates. There will be counter tariffs from the European Union side. They are prepared. They were withdrawn as a sign of good faith, but there are even more prepared. There are long lists of possible counter tariffs, and there are other ways that the EU could make life difficult for the US. But as we heard earlier in the program as well, I mean, the transatlantic relationship is important. We trade so much every day, so the US also needs us in this, and it would be unfortunate if the conflict escalates.
A couple of areas of interest in particular, some of the older industries. I mean, we know steel has struggled over the years, last number of decades. We know it's become more complex for autos, given all the competition from Chinese EV players, as well as what we're seeing on the digital side, where Europe is very keen to escalate its AI ambitions. As we look at these sectors, what importance do you think they have when it comes to negotiating tactics, whether there's an exemption for autos and steel, and whether Europe is prepared to put on ice any digital taxes in future?
I don't think so. I mean, digital taxes are not from the European Union side. It's a national decision and a national competence. So the Commission cannot negotiate that. And when it comes to digital regulations, we have spent in Europe 5 years getting the regulation in place. And I don't see that unraveling right now. And that has also been a very clear message, both from member states and from the European Parliament, that we do not dilute the rules that are there to protect citizens. So no, I don't think so. I mean, we can discuss future rules, for instance. I mean, there will be a need to set common rules in the future. And that is a readiness that the European Union has signalized, but I don't think any concessions will be made in changing rules.